Here we go, man. So what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I seen the Jesse Magdaleno fight, and I seen a little bit of the Shakur Stevenson fight, a little bit.
That Jesse Magdaleno fight was crazy, yo. Dude hit him so many times low, man.
That was so dirty. You know what? You know what pissed me off? You know what pissed me off beyond him hitting him dirty? The fact that he still tried to go in there and still tried to go into a fight. When the referee stopped it, he started complaining. Why are you complaining for? Why are you complaining for? That annoyed me. That literally annoyed me. You hit him low. Two or three times?
4 times.
4 times. You hit him low 4 times. And then once it's going down because it's low, you still want to get in there. The referee calls it off. You start contesting the referee like Zab Judah.
Yo, leave my boy Zab out of this, man. But nah, Jesse, like that first round knockdown was crazy, man, because he caught him with that. He caught him with
the uppercut. With the
uppercut, and then he caught him with the check right. Ass, man. But they talking about Jesse either fighting because he's number 1 in the WBC for Gary Russell and number 4 for the WBO for Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ready for them 2 yet, man.
Nah, especially after the loss. The thing is, Jesse Magdaleno was champion for a long time, and then he lost to Isaac Dogbo. And
I remember he lost to Isaac Dogbo. That was crazy. Isaac Dogbo.
Exactly. And so I feel like he definitely won't be ready for Shakur. With Shakur, that's a straight loss. But with Gary Russell Jr., what do you think?
Nah, Gary Russell mops the ring with him, man.
Mops the ring with him. Got you.
Mops the ring with him, man. I'll probably give Jesse like maybe 1 round, 2 if he's lucky.
2 if he's lucky.
2 if he's lucky. Did you see the first fight though? Adam Lopez?
On the undercard. The guys on the undercard.
Yeah, the first fight though was Adam Lopez. He fought your boy, Oscar Valdez.
Oscar Valdez.
His last fight was to Oscar Valdez and he lost, but he knocked Oscar down the first round. You didn't see that fight?
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't see that fight. I went straight to the Magdaleno fight.
Yeah, he fought on the undercard of the Magdaleno fight, and it was crazy because it was like, if you go to the end of the fight, if you just go off of what it looked like facial, like he lost the fight. Both his eyes was swollen shut. But he did win the fight, but it just like because he kept.
Was it worse than? Sorry to cut you off. Was it worse than Andre Butter's eyes? Remember that after the Guerrero fight? Was it worse or better than that? Because I cannot look at that. I can't look at that.
Nah, both his eyes were swollen shut, man. Like he was they was swollen. And he was like. But he won the fight. But the thing about it was instead of staying on the outside, he kept letting dude get on the inside. And when dude kept getting on the inside, that's when he started wailing on him. But,
Got you.
He was on the outside. He was doing a good job. He was also doing a good job on the inside. But on the inside, that dude was just wailing on him.
Seen. I seen like that. Those are featherweights, right? Or was it super featherweight? Because I know Oscar Valdez.
Those were featherweights.
Okay, it's come down to featherweight. Okay, gotcha.
No. Because when he fought Oscar, he went up to 120 to 130, but he went back down to 136. Got you. And Shakur Stevenson, that was when he defended the title. That was on that was on Tuesday night, right? That was on Tuesday night. I mean, I like the fact that boxing is back. But
absolutely.
It's tough because it's like it's during the week.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
I don't mind it during the week as long as it was promoted right. I feel like that fight wasn't promoted right. You know, when UFC came back for UFC 49, that was promoted right. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like with with Shakur Stevenson coming back for the WBO to defending this WBO championship, I feel like that was under promoted. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't. Nah, he went up. He didn't even fight at a welterweight.
Oh, he didn't fight at featherweight.
He fought at 130. He fought at super feather.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yo, that card was crazy too, man.
Yeah.
The dude that beat Shakur Stevenson in the Olympics was on the.
That was his second fight. Remember, he lost his first fight, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm about to hold up right now, man. It was
Ramirez.
Ramirez. Last name.
Yeah. It's so peak watching his first fight, especially after becoming a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was so interesting to see. It's so interesting to see how he'll perform as a professional. But that jump and that leap from amateur to professional, it was evident. You know what I'm saying? It was so evident.
And then he's a Cuban fighter too. You know, like
Mm.
they fight off that point system. So now
Yeah,
they gotta
exactly.
change. They gotta like change and add. Like they gotta learn how to use the point system and learn how to hit hard. Like that first fight, I watched that fight and I couldn't really assess him real good because he knocked dude out in the first round.
Yeah.
He dropped him. He dropped him with a he dropped him. I think it was with a overhand right and then an uppercut, and then dropped him again. No, it was an overhand. It was an overhand right and an uppercut, a left uppercut, and he dropped him with an overhand left, and it was a wrap.
That was a wrap.
It was a wrap.
Done. What weight was it? What weight was it? 122 or 126? Because I know it at 126. Got you. So it's coming up in the featherweight ranks.
Yeah, yo, you ain't seen none of the undercards?
No, I didn't see the undercard. The only fight that I saw, because let me tell you this, a lot of stuff has been happening over here, which has been taking my mind away. But I'll tell you about it as we go on. You know what I'm saying?
That's after this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I'll tell you I'll tell you this though. Some big news came up over this side. Did you hear about it? Between Tyson Fury, the WBC World Heavyweight Champion, and Anthony Joshua, the super.
Well, hold up. Speaking of Tyson Fury, on that Shakur Stevenson undercard, they had two guys that sparred Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
One was from Italy. His name was Guido.
Yeah.
Heavyweight. And then another guy was, last name was Anderson. Yeah. I want to say it was, hold on, man.
Was it called Big Baby? Because I know this is a top rank.
It's
Big Baby.
It's called Big Baby.
Yeah.
I kind of don't agree with that name, but it's gonna be crazy.
He says he has it. He said he's had it before Big Baby Miller.
Well, we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out. He said he had it before Big Baby Miller, but you know,
the J. I want to say it was Josh. No, it wasn't Joshua. It was Jared Anderson.
Jared Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like both of them. Especially the way they move, because they don't move like heavyweights. Like most heavyweights, they're kind of like stiff.
Yeah.
They moving stiff, especially Guido. He was moving real good, and he took dude out in the first round. And and Jared Anderson, he took dude out, I believe, in the third round.
Got you. Yeah.
Jared Anderson, but he's young though. He's 20. Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
That's him. That's him.
Oh. Guess how I know he is young. He does look real young. Guess how I know. He's what?
He's only 20 years old.
Exactly. A real baby. He's a real big baby. Even more big baby than Big Baby Miller. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but guess how I know of him?
He's bought Tyson Fury.
And guess who his manager is? Guess who's his manager?
Oh, come on. Who's his manager?
Jay Prince.
There go your boy, Jay Prince.
My boy, Jay Prince. Exactly.
Yeah, I like Jay Prince, man. I like Jay Prince.
I like Jay Prince. Funny because he manages Big Baby Miller as well.
Oh wow.
I can
say the only issue I kind of have with Jared is his punches was a little too wide. And his defense, he got hit a little bit too much for me, but he's still young.
Exactly. I was gonna say, yeah.
And he's young and he's broad. And he got good fundamentals, so that's going to take him a long way. And
absolutely,
with his trainers and everything, he's going to be a beast.
It's going to be a beast, And speaking of his age and his youth, as we look at the heavyweights coming up from both sides of the Atlantic, you have Joey Joyce, the juggernaut, the Olympic silver medalist. You have Daniel Dubois, and then you have kind of from the other side, from your side, you have Jared Anderson, but you also look at the contenders. You have King Kong Ortiz and you have Jared Big Baby Miller. I feel like it's gonna be an interesting coming up as a heavyweight, especially during this time.
The heavyweight division is getting better.
Absolutely.
It's finally getting back to the late '90s, the early '90s, late '90s, early 2000s. It's definitely getting better.
Absolutely. Especially with the news that we heard this week, you know.
I don't know how that's gonna. I don't think they should have announced that too early. I think they should have let the
It's
Wilder.
weird that they did.
I think they should have let the Wilder and Fury rematch happen. They should let the It's Pulev fighting, right?
Yeah, it's Pulev. Yeah, absolutely.
They should let AJ and the Pulev fight. They should let those fights. They should let them fight, and then announce that with the fight that them announced. Because what happens if AJ lose?
AJ loses, one of them loses. Yeah.
Happens if Fury lose, then they might not. They might not fight. So I don't even think they should announce that yet.
Absolutely. No. You're absolutely right. I feel like they've done it before, but then again, it's happened, you know, for 20, 30, 40 years, fights get announced prematurely, get booked prematurely, and contracts get signed prematurely. You know what I'm saying? We even speak about Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson. Evander Holyfield's scheduled to fight Mike Tyson for the Undisputed Championship. Turns out someone else had better plans in Japan of knocking Mike Tyson out. So, you know what I'm saying? An unforeseen incident by the name of Buster Douglas decided he has other plans. But now I like the fight. It's a 2-fight deal. And what's funny is that I was speaking to my guy Thirsty about it. You know, this fight right now, especially during this climate, you know, it's Joshua versus Fury, but it's much bigger than that, if you know what I mean.
Nah, it is, because it's a UK fight. They're the two biggest heavyweights. You know, they're like the top 3 heavyweights right now
in the world.
In the world, and then on top of that, with both of them being from the UK, it makes it even bigger. It makes it even bigger, especially over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with what happened today as well. You know what I'm saying?
Happened today.
And, you know the current climate that we're in. You know what I'm saying? With the current events that have been happening, it makes this fight bigger on that level, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Especially with the comments that AJ said the other day, you know what I'm saying, during one of the protests, and a lot of cats have been liking to it. A lot of cats, you know what I'm saying, they've been labeling him things. And so I said to Thirsty, this fight, it kind of reminds me of Joe Louis versus Max Schmeling back in the 30s, when it was a fight. Right, it was deep, you know what I'm saying? The times were very real at that time. And so I feel like this is that. This isn't even just a heavyweight championship fight. This is between, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, it's. I wish it wasn't labeled like that. I
really wish it wasn't. Well, you know what I'm saying? It just had to happen at this time. You know what I'm saying? I wish it didn't happen. It wasn't labeled like that, but. You know what I'm saying? What's your analysis of, because you had a really interesting analysis of the rematch, the third match between Wilder and Fury.
If Wilder doesn't add more to his game, I think he loses again.
Okay.
I really do. I mean, he can't just keep relying on that right hand, and with everybody talking about, oh, Fury cheated and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still in a fight.
Yeah.
And you still in the fight. You still got to fight back. You still got to block punches. And I don't think Wilder's good, but he's not boxing to the ability that to beat a Tyson Fury. You know, he can't sit back and rely on that right hand. Like, you know, Tyson Fury, he kind of like crowded Wilder. Like Wilder's power is on the end of his punch. You look at when he knocks guys out, it's always straight. It's straight. He steps back, and he's straight at the end of the punch. Boom.
Exactly. The distance. He closed. It's right there. Tyson Fury was right there.
He was right there. Exactly. So it was hard for Wilder to let them extend. Because we seen in the first fight when he extended on Fury. You know what I'm saying? He dropped him. But twice. He dropped him twice. The last one, I was like, man, I thought it was over. I don't even know how he got it. I don't know how Fury got it.
It's funny about that. The referee who did that was interviewed, and you know what he said? He said that was one of the best decisions he's ever made in his career, to continue that fight, to let that go on. You know what I'm saying? And now thinking about it in retrospect, it does seem like that. But during that time, I don't know if I was a referee, I would have stopped it right there.
Yeah, sure, that fight should have been stopped, because I think they showed some replays where like it was like a 16 count. He counted to 10, but it was more like 16.
16
But
count, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and all the PBC, the Water fanboys, yeah, they didn't like it, you know.
the Wilder fanboys. Oh,
Mm.
stop. Ah, but Wilder add
I
more
really like Wilder,
arsenal.
you know what I'm saying? I really
I
like
like
Wilder.
I like him too, but the thing about the fact that some people I'm not gonna say they overhype him, but it's like there was so many excuses of his loss, and I don't. You still got to box.
Yeah,
Box,
I
man.
say this.
You still got to
At the
box. If the gloves was tainted, he still got to block them punches. If the first pit was hard and you see it coming, you still got to put your hands up and block it. Get out of the way, bob and weave.
Absolutely.
He was going straight back.
You know, there's a lot of great trainers around there. You know, over there, and I'm not saying. Yeah, I don't really agree with him firing. Who did they fire? Was it Jay Diaz or Mark Breland?
They said it was Mark Breland, but he didn't fire Mark Breland. He's still
Oh, he
training
didn't
with
fire
Mark
Mark
Breland.
Breland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, still trains. Okay, good. I would incorporate, you know what I'm saying? If Mark Breland's a great trainer anyway, you know what I'm saying?
He's a great trainer.
I feel like with them, I feel like they have let him do what he does until it doesn't work anymore. For example, they know what he does is extremely risky. They know what he does is probably not the best thing a heavyweight should do. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why, because Mark Breland isn't an idiot. You know what I'm saying? He's a former world's welterweight champion and a former Olympic gold medalist in one of the most legendary U.S. Olympic boxing teams of all time. And he is not an idiot. Neither is Jay Diaz. They know that he cannot go in there and swing in with the proverbial windmill and relying on his power. But however, I feel like because it's worked for so long, they've kind of disregarded it until now. Now that's when they need to start making the adjustments.
Yeah, they make those adjustments, work on his defense, work on him using his jab and using the left hook. I think Tyson Fury might catch an L.
Might catch an L.
Might catch an L.
I really want, you know,
if Wilder comes in the same way he came in the last fight and not adding to it, I mean, you can still add to your stuff. It don't, he's fought 40 fights, but he can still get better. Even though he had 40 fights, he can still get better.
Absolutely.
So if he start adding the jab, adding the left hook, working on his defense, keeping his hands up when his defense, not going backwards in a straight line and going on angles. It could be a long night for Fury.
It could be a long night, you know.
And work on his inside game too.
You know what's annoying about fighters like Wilder and Joshua, right? The thing is, it's the old paradigm where the majority of the fighters that they fight are shorter than them, so they rely on their outside game and they rely on their reach. You know what I'm saying? The majority of the fighters that they fight are shorter than them. However, when they do fight someone taller than them, they don't know what to do. It's kind of a hard thing to adapt to. You know what I'm saying?
Especially with Fury, because Fury's 6'9". 6'9",
exactly.
He ain't no little. He's 6'9", 275. He's an NBA power forward, and you in there fighting Karl Malone.
Exactly. He's a big guy, and it's such a hard thing to adjust to, especially when you rely not only just on your power but the size advantage in a complex that you can dominate. You can rush the other guy. But what happens if someone rushes you? You know what I mean? And like Fury did.
And Fury's quick too, man. For him to be so big, he's quick.
Exactly, extremely quick. Now, but I do have to give all respect to Tyson Fury as in his comeback. You know, his comeback fights and his comeback performances. You know what I'm saying? His performances have been better than his fights. I think his only big fight is before this Wilder fight was the original Wilder fight. You know what I'm saying? That was his biggest fight. But in terms of the other opponents, I feel like right now it's irrelevant because he's performed better. The more he's going to perform better. And I say from right now going forward, it's going to be tested against other guys. A lot of people, and what I mean by that is like a lot of people want to hype Tyson Fury up. But the thing is, though, he's only fought one prominent opponent since his comeback, and that is Wilder. At first fight, which a lot of people thought he lost. Some people thought he won, but he drew. and then Wilder again, which he won. So I feel like to judge him like this, he says, you know, to say that he's truly unbeatable right now, I don't see it, right? I don't see it. And I really hope Anthony Joshua wins. I really hope he wins this fight. And I know he can. You know what he needs to do?
Yeah, he needs to come in. He can't. If he come in like the second time he fought Ruiz, and because he came in, I think he came in at like 235. Came in a little bit lighter. If he come in like that and not look so robotic like he's having his past fights, where he's too big and his punches is like this instead of the punches being like that. He has a chance of beating Fury.
He has a chance, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And he just has to apply that. And I hope his trainers can make that known to him. I hope the people around him can make that known to him as well. He can't come in like he has come in the other fights. You know what I'm saying? He's a big star and he's a big, big celebrity and he's a big guy. But I just hope he has the humility going into the fight to be able to make the necessary adjustments he needs. He needs to go to that body. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing is just he needs to go to that body and yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's if Tyson Fury's gonna stand there to let him go to the body. You know that?
It depends. The body's easier to hit than the head. I hope it doesn't headhunt.
Oh, yeah. If he go headhunt, it's a wrap.
That's exactly. I hope he doesn't headhunt. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I feel like he might get frustrated. I hope he doesn't get frustrated and start going for the head. I hope he just stays for the first 3-4 rounds straight at that body. Straight right hands to the body, right hooks to the body, jabs to the body, everything to the body, overhands to the body. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you start headhunting, and especially in the first 3 rounds, forget about it. You are walking out of the arena as the former world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he would. Yo, back to the Shakur Stevenson fight. Did you see that fight?
Yeah, I've seen that fight. Yeah, that fight I seen. He's great. He's truly great.
Yo, he dropped that dude with the body shot. I think dude shot it on himself, man. Yo, he hit him that. I'm be honest with you. Only thing I didn't like about that fight was they kept mentioning like the possible fighters that
the possible fights in the future. Next. Yeah.
And they mentioned Jojo Diaz. Mentioned Leo Santa Cruz. They mentioned oh man, your boy over there, man, from the UK, man.
Josh Warrington. The fight that I see Josh Warrington wins. Josh Warrington will win that fight.
Shakur Stevenson?
Yes, I said it before and I say it right now.
Yo, Shakur, listen, before we get to that, hold on. Before we even get to that, you never mentioned Gary Russell Jr.'s name.
I don't know. The thing is, for me, Gary Russell Jr. mentioning his name in terms operationally, it's just, I feel like Gary Russell Jr. he's great. You know what I'm saying? He's a great fighter. I just feel like it's hard to think about that fight happening because the way Gary Russell Jr.'s career has been so far. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you want to know something? The reason why Gary Russell Jr.'s career is the way it is because he wants big name fighters and he wants belts.
Yeah.
Mandatories. You know, and he says it all the time. He want all the champions in his division.
Yeah.
You know I mean, it's talks of him moving up to 135, but right now,
135.
Yeah. He's been saying that he want to go up to 135. Nah, 126 to 135. He's jumping 130.
Okay.
But my thing about it though is like we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. But if he stays at 126, that fight should happen.
That fight should happen. I feel like
Stevenson and Gary, they don't. And the media has a big influence on how some of these fights are made.
Yeah.
You mentioned Josh Warren, Jojo Diaz, Leo Santa Cruz, Miguel Burchett. That's another name they mentioned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they also threw in what's his name? He's trained by Bomac. The 135 that trained by Bomac. Jamel Herring.
Yeah, the
he even mentioned Jamel Herring, but what I'm saying is
that fight could happen. That fight is more likely, very likely.
It is more likely to happen, but Gary Russell Jr. is not signed to a promoter. So Gary Russell Jr.
He should sign. I feel like he should get a great. You know, it's this situation that makes me want to get into boxing so much. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? And push the sport forward, push the sport up. You know what I mean? And I thought he should sign. He should go to Essex. You know what I'm saying? He should sign with Essex, Eddie Hearn, and match him, because then he's got so many possibilities. He has Tevin Farmer, Jojo Diaz. You know what I'm saying? Essex, Eddie Hearn can work with the old man and make the Shakur Stevenson fight happen. You know what I mean?
But see, with Gary Russell Jr. not having a promoter, he can still work with all the other
All the
promotion
different
companies
types,
by itself at different times.
Yeah.
And I think Gary Russell Jr. and Shakur Stevenson is a big fight.
Big fight.
It's on the cusp of the Terrence Crawford Earl Spence fight.
Earl Spence fight, yeah.
You know what I'm
Are you
saying?
sure? I thought that fight would have been more Gary Russell Jr. versus Leo Santa Cruz. Your favorite fighter?
In my opinion, I think Gary Russell Jr. I think he beats Leo Santa Cruz. I think he beats him, and I think he beats him easy. With Shakur Stevenson, he's gonna have a tough time on his hands.
A tough night, yeah.
It's gonna be
both
really
southpaws,
fight. Both southpaws, both very quick. You know, I mean, if I would have to pick, I would pick Gary Russell in a close fight. You know what I'm saying? But but I wouldn't be surprised if Shakur Stevens win.
I feel like he can knock him out. I feel like the thing, I don't know, I just hate it because I feel like Gary Russell is in. That's why when you said 135, I hate to say it, you know what I'm saying? But it's the elephant in the room. I feel like he's small, you know what I'm saying? And for the power that Shakur Stevenson possesses, you know, and the kind of and the accuracy that he'll possess in that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he will be able to land and especially with how quick that Gary Russell Jr. is with his combinations, I feel like if Shakur Stevenson can time that, put the steed right there, the jousting
that
stick,
jab, yeah,
and boom, yeah. I feel like he can time that speed and land something that Gary Russell Jr. had no intentions of having had landed on him, and knock him out.
And that's what makes the fight so intriguing. There's so many different dimensions to that fight. That makes it so intriguing because you talk about Gary Russell's speed, you talk about Shakur Stevenson's timing, you got Gary Russell's combinations, Shakur Stevenson. You know, it adds a great element to like sit down and just say, yo, I gotta watch this fight.
I gotta watch this fight.
It's a
but
great
for
fight.
me, the biggest fight that I'm looking forward to, and I hope these guys can make it happen. You know, Frank the Fish Warren, and the old man. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson, Josh Warrington for the unified World's Featherweight WBO IBF World's Featherweight Championship.
Shakur Stevenson in 6.
I will. If it happens next year, I will have 250 pounds, British pounds, about $300. That's as high as I'm going. I don't know how high you will go.
You want to put money on that fight?
I will put money on it.
You want to put money on that fight?
250 Great British pounds, probably about $290. That is.
So once this is recorded, it's going to be posted.
Okay.
So we'll always go back to this day. And
we'll go back to this day.
We go back to this day. And if that fight is made, we go back, we talk. Then we talk.
Then we talk. Got you. It doesn't even have to be in straight cash. It can be in credit. It can be in bragging rights. But I will ride with Josh Warrington.
Listen, I want my money in pennies.
You want your money in singles?
I want all my money in pennies, all right? Pay me in pennies. Shakur Stevenson wins.
You said in 6 as well, so you're saying you knocked him out.
In 6.
Nah. Let me tell you why. Because I feel like we're going, as we say this, we go right back to Josh Warrington before he became the world's champion. When he fought Lee Selby, he was the mad underdog. Lee Selby champion of, I think at the time was 3 years. What was it, 2018 or not? Yeah, 2018. Champion.
I want to say it was 8. Hold on.
18.
Hold on. I got my phone right here. I'll pull it up for you.
Champion of 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Highly experienced, and people, and Josh Warrington was written off. He had about 5 KOs to his name. You know what I'm saying? And he switched promoters as well. He just left Essex Eddie Hearn's stable, his family, and went on to Frankie the Fish's family and decided to do business with them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people wrote Josh Warrington off.
It was May 19th, 2018, and Josh Warrington won by decision. I think I watched that fight. You told me about that fight, and I believe I watched that fight, and I was very impressed with Josh.
He was great. He was great,
He's
and
great.
and a lot of people didn't like him because he's not cocky in the Adrian Broner, Floyd Mayweather sense, but he's very confident in himself, and that's what I think will be the difference maker. He's not like some of these fighters who will go in for a big fight and then they'll be like this for the entire fight. He will go in there, win, lose, or draw, and give it everything, and that's why I said he'll win, because he did that against Lee Selby, a guy who was heavy favorite to beat him. But the biggest clincher was he did that to Carl Frampton. Carl Frampton, a 2-division world champion, unified super bantamweight champion, and the guy who beat Leo Santa Cruz. A lot of people said, you know what, forget Josh Warrington. Carl Frampton's going to do it. And then Carl Frampton's going to go back to America and make all that money and do big things. What happened? Josh Warrington went in there. He was not afraid of anyone. You know what I'm saying? Was not afraid of no man. Went in there.
And beat him in 12 too. And that was the same year he won the belt. And that was in December.
Won the belt, exactly. 2 back-to-back fights. And you know Kid Galahad?
Yes.
Abdul
he beat your boy too. He beat your boy Galahad too.
Yeah, exactly. No. Kid Galahad's a great fighter. I like him. I like the whole guys up there in Sheffield. And the whole Sheffield gym, that's where Prince Naz is from. Kid Galahad and Naz, they're very close. I like those guys, but going into that fight, I wanted Josh Warrington to win because this guy, you know what I'm saying, I respect him a lot, and I feel it will be that tenacity. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he will win more than Josh Warrington thinks will win. But the thing is, with Josh Warrington, he doesn't go in there thinking he's going to win everything. He just goes in there thinking he's not going to leave anything outside the ring. He's not going to go in there and curl up or Jorge Linares, and no offense, but Anthony Crawler or Ricky Burns and Terrence Bud Crawford. He's not going to let some guy come in here and take it off of him that easy. He's going to give it every single thing that he has.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel will allow him to become the unified champion against who else? So we have those two, and then we have, is Santa Cruz still a WBA champion?
I'm about to tell you right now.
And then Gary Russell Jr. is the other champion.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you right now. Hold on. Let's go. Yeah, you got Josh Warrington. You got Leo Santa Cruz is still a WBA champion.
Still a WBA champion. Gotcha.
I listen. I think Shakur Stevenson is going to beat your boy Josh Harrington.
We'll see.
I'm going to tell you.
This is a good fight. Who do you want to win this fight?
What? Warrington and Shakur?
Yeah, your fellow East Coast boy, or do you want?
I'm going with Shakur.
Shakur, got you.
Shakur, man. Listen, Josh's gonna be swinging for the fences. His arms is gonna get tired. Not gonna be able to catch Shakur Stevenson. All right, and then Shakur's gonna stick that jab. He might even hit him with the body shot that he just hit old boy with this last fight. Make him short on himself again, man.
Got you. Now we'll see. But this is great, though, and I feel like this is the first fight that has come about, or that might come about. Hopefully, it will within the next, next year. I thought it was going to happen this year, but the Wuhan coronavirus. Hopefully, this happens next year. And this is the first fight since me and you that we've actually had not only two conflicting personal interests, as in who we want to win, but professional interests as who we think will win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're very, very adamant on our guys. So it will be a very interesting fight to see happen.
Yeah, I'm adamant. You know what a fighter I want to see? I want to see a rematch between Oh man, why I just grew a damn brain fart. Oh man, Regis Prograis and
Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
So I don't want a rematch for Josh Taylor's sake.
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like he'll win. The first was a split decision, right? The first was a split decision.
Was it majority? It was majority.
Majority decision.
Hey man.
I remember Regis Prograis had that cut. No, not the cut. He was a closed eye. Yeah. I remember Regis Prograis.
It was a majority decision. Yeah, Regis Prograis shut his dude's eye. Shut your man's eye.
Oh, shut Josh Taylor's eye.
He shut
Got
his
you.
eye. He shut his
He
eye.
may shut his eye, but he took his belt. So you
He
know
took
what I'm
his
saying.
nah. He did. Yeah, but I think
the eye will open in 24 hours, but the belt will stay around. Josh.
Here you go with your BS, man. Well, yo, I'm not gonna lie, yo.
Yeah.
He fought a very. I became a fan of
Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor after that fight, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he boxed a really beautiful
A really good fight.
I think like he was quick to beat, and I'm not saying he was faster than Regis Prograis. He was just like he was faster, but it wasn't like a notable like a Gary Russell speed. But he was just like
got you.
He's a little bit quicker to the punch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he didn't give Regis Prograis enough time to sit down on his punches. But then when Regis sat down on his punches in them later rounds, and listen, one more round, and I think Regis Prograis would have knocked his ass out.
Knock his ass out. Got you.
One more
okay,
round.
That's maybe.
Because when he started, Regis Prograis started coming on in the later rounds. I think like the 8th, the 9th, and then that's when he
Now, to be honest, I like Josh Taylor, and hopefully Josh Taylor is confident as well as I don't know, he may not be as confident as Josh Warrington, but he's as good as Josh Warrington. You know what I mean? He might even be better. And going into this fight, because the first time that I watched a Josh Taylor fight was against O'Hara Davis.
Your boy again.
My boy,
your boys be catching L's over there, man.
Oh, no. We'll see. Now, Harry Davis, even to this day, I still like is a good guy, a good fighter. And from that time, you know what I'm saying, I still caught with him, and you know what I'm saying, he fought a lot of great fighters. And then when he became the champion, and he became champion in the tournament, and then he won the unified champion also in the tournament. So hopefully, as he comes out, you know what I'm saying, I hope he does something good. I hope he does something real good and just doesn't relinquish it or lose to anyone. You know what I mean?
He need to get that, because Ramirez got the other belt, right?
The other 2 belts, yeah. It's him versus Ramirez.
Yeah. And so it's time. I think he beats Ramirez.
You think, okay. No, I'm going to agree with you from the standpoint that I want him to beat Ramirez. So, yeah.
It's not even one. I think he beats Ramirez. Ramirez gotta step his game up, man. He gotta come with it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. When he fought his last fight, he fought the guy from Texas.
Who, Ramirez?
Yes.
Maurice Hooker.
Yes, he fought Maurice Hooker. I mean, I seen a different side of Ramirez in that fight that I haven't seen before. Like and Hooker was giving him. Hooker brung it to him. Like Hooker ain't come to lay down. Hooker was getting in. It's just, but it's just more. He caught Maurice with that shot.
It is, yeah. You know, Maurice Hooker is with Hearn. You know, it reminded me of did you watch the Cody Garbrandt, UFC bantamweight? I know you don't rock with UFC like that. But I was hoping.
I'm still trying to get into it. I want to watch the Manny Nunez fight.
I was hoping the knockout when Garbrandt knocked out this fighter the other day. I was hoping it might make the boxing circles. You know what I'm saying? You know when there's a UFC knockout or a
Matter of fact, hold up. I think I did see that knockout.
Did see the knockout. The way when he dipped out, I'll get it up. When he dipped down and then
it came up. Yeah, I saw that knockout. I just didn't know who it was.
Yeah. That's the guy. When that was a great shot. And keep in mind, I'm a Cody Garbrandt fan. I'm a big Cody Garbrandt fan. And so when he threw that shot, I was like, yes. You know what I'm saying? But then again, Cody Garbrandt comes from a boxing background. You know what I'm saying? He comes from a boxing background, and that's why he's able to do what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best to get in the UFC. I do watch the women's fight in the UFC.
With the women's.
Yeah, I like when the women. Oh yeah, that was it.
Oh. Oh, out of nowhere, good guy.
Who gave him the B&B? He got the B&B.
I'm gonna say this. This is my this is probably one of my last things I wanted to get off my chest. Going into the future, the next 10 years or so. Remember the Fabulous Four?
It
Tommy
was
Hitman
Hearns, it was Hagler, Sugar Ray, and I forgot the fourth one.
Duran.
Yes.
I feel like we might see that part 2. Not those fighters, but with a new group of cats. And I say it with these cats because these cats are following. They're very diverse. They are media friendly, a lot of star power, and could be great champions by the time they retire. And the biggest one is that they are media friendly. You know what I'm saying? They're celebrities. They could be celebrities. And so and obviously they're very close to each other in weight. Ryan, the King Garcia, the Flash King Ryan Garcia,
Devin Haney,
Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, the Dream Haney, and Javante Tank Davis.
I keep Shakur in it, but I kind of don't add him in because right now he's still at 126 and the other guy's at 135. But you are correct.
I feel like in the future, within the following 10 years, and when it's all said and done, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there will be 4 fighters who have all fought each other in one way or another, and those fights were big fights. There will be big fights, you know what I'm saying, in their career, just like the Fabulous Four did over the course of, I think it was the first fight in the Fabulous Four was in the 80s, and was in 1981 with Hearns and Hagler. With Hearns and Leonard, and then the last one was in the end. So I feel like the 20s will see those 4 fighters.
But the question is, do they fight now or do we let it mature? Like,
I'm a big fan. I'm a businessman, so I'm a big fan of letting those fights build up, build anticipation, build emotion, and let them mature. But the thing is, though, the only reason why it can happen now is because I feel like not even that got to get their name up, but also that the fighters who are in the lower weight, keep in mind, we're looking at 126 to 135. Maybe some of the fights can even happen at 140. But we have to let the guys who are in 126 and 130 build up to 135 and 140. So, for example, Shakur Stevenson's at 126, whereas Devin Haney is a champion at 135. And Javante is 135 as well. And Ryan Garcia is at 130. So I feel like it will happen over a course of time. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I think the biggest weight division, just like the Fabulous Four was middleweight, I think the biggest one here will be at lightweight. You know what I mean? I feel like all these guys, one way or another, they might meet each other at super featherweight or lightweight.
I think right now, though, that welterweight division is crazy.
It's crazy. It's real
good. You're not.
And you know,
it's. I don't think there'll be a night off, man. I mean, there's so many names that you could throw in a hat and let them fight. And then the upcoming fighters are good too. Virgil Ortiz, Gerard Dennis. Yeah. No, I think, especially for Jerron, I think he needs to fight like. He needs another fight, and he needs to get like a fighter like a Jesse Vargas or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, a big name fight. Yeah, kind of like the gatekeepers, like a Kell Brock, Jesse Vargas.
Yeah.
What's the other? Adrian Granados. You know what I'm saying? No offense to these guys, by the way, but yeah.
If he needs to like fight a fighter like that. And then
I feel like he needs to sign with the Don. You know what I'm saying? He needs to sign with the boss of all bosses and move to that circle.
You win the names, man.
He needs to move into that circle because I feel like in terms of exposure to top welterweights, that's the best thing for him. You know what I'm saying? If he goes to someone else, you know, let's say the King of Essex, those fights would take so long to mature and to make happen. So in order to be an effective welterweight, he needs to go over.
But Andre Wood said something real interesting the other night with the fact.
Andre Wood.
Yeah, the fact that you're making a Fury and you're making a Wilder fight, and as people would say, they're on the other side of the streets, but they're able to make these fights, that fight so easily. I think they should be able to make the rest of these fights easy too, you know, because there's a lot of money on the table.
It's a lot of money, but it's about a big thing. Is about egos between the fighters, egos between the promoters, and it's about 3 things: egos between the fighters, egos between the promoters, and the third biggest thing is leverage. You know what I'm saying? Leverage. And so the reason why is, for example, like this. People said that Al Heyman is such a great guy to work. No, Dana White said Al Heyman is such a great guy to work with. Floyd Mayweather is such a great guy to work with. They were making a fight with, especially in contrast to Bob Arum and Manny Pacquiao, they were making a fight with Conor McGregor. It was like, it's not really rocket science to make a fight and make negotiations for a fight between McGregor and Mayweather. They'll make it because there's not a lot of leverage. There's not a lot of politics. You know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of leverage between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. There was a lot of politics between those two, and the networks and the promoters and everything. And so I feel like some big fights, there'll be big fights which are easier to make than others, and then there'll be big fights which are harder to make than others. And it's about leverage. And for example, the leverage between, the egos between Wilder and AJ. Who wants more money? Who's the bigger fighter? You know what I'm saying? Who's the bigger draw? Who's done more? And then the egos between Al Heyman, the Godfather. He's the most powerful man in boxing right now. He wants a power play, and he wants to exercise his power in the sport and make sure that that fight between Wilder and Joshua doesn't happen without him, we're not on his terms. You know what I mean? That's why the fight with Fury happened, because Fury doesn't care. Tyson Fury doesn't care. He just wants to go in there and fight. You know what I'm saying? Frank Warren doesn't have a lot of leverage. And so whereas Eddie Hearn has a lot of leverage, he has a lot of clout.
Yeah, but isn't Fury with Top Rank now?
Yeah, it's your Top Rank. Yeah, true.
Yeah,
But at the same time, there isn't a lot of options for Fury from that side. That's why he's been fighting cats like Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz. There's not a lot of leverage and not a lot of options on that side. Whereas Joshua has so many options, and that's why you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I thought that is the deal.
Just say let him fight, man. Just let him fight, man.
But
give the fans what they want.
What they want, yeah.
Give the fans what they want.
What they want.
And let it marinate and mature. Nah, just let him go, man. Just let him go. I remember I watched an interview the other day with why am I getting brain farts all of a sudden, man? With
Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner.
Sean Porter.
Okay.
And he made an interesting comment. He was like, "Yo, there shouldn't be no tune-up fights. We should just go right into it."
Yeah. Should go straight back
because he said, and I kind of agree with him, because he's like, everybody all had the same time off.
Yeah.
So everybody's on the same level right now. There should be no tune-up fights. And
no tune-up fights. Nah, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
I kind of agree with him on that. Nah,
he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Right now, everyone, except from Shakur, but going into it now, everyone's on the same playing field. No one's been off longer than anyone. No one's been, going longer than anyone. So everyone's in the crisp. So we should go right back onto it, which is much better. You know what I'm saying? Much, much better. But three things. The first thing is, let me ask you this. So with the Fabulous Four, so if we go back to the originals, Leonard was the only one who was able to, at least in one of the fights, because they fought each other multiple times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least in one of the fights, the only one who was able to beat all three members, you know what I'm saying? Each of them traded various exchanges and various victories, but Leonard was the only one out of that crew to beat every single one at least once. Going into the new Fabulous Four, what are your predictions on Shakur? Let's start from the beginning. So let's say Shakur versus Tank at 135.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Is it? Both southpaw?
That's a tough one. I'll give the edge to Shakur because of his defense.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's funny, because I was going to give the edge to Tank because of his power.
I think Shakur, he has power, but it's still more to come.
Okay.
So I think by the time because I think Tank's power is there already. We all know that. I don't think he can hit any harder than he can now.
Okay.
Shakur would be able to hit hard.
Because he's still growing. Yeah. He's still growing. He's like 20, 21, 20. Yeah.
He's 22. Yeah. He's still growing. But I think I give the edge to Shakur because of his defense.
Okay.
But but it's one of those fights where you could pick somebody.
Yeah, anything can happen.
But anything can happen, and but Tank still have a chance.
Yeah.
If Tank was to catch him clean,
yeah,
there goes that BNB.
Got you. I'll miss it. Okay, what I'll do is I won't do each one irrespectively. I'll say this: who do you think will come out the emerging star from the Family's Four? Who will be the the Leonard who in either one fight or the other was the only one to be able to best all three fighters? Who do you think will come out as the Sugar Ray Leonard of this quadruple? In my mind, is Devin Haney. I say Haney beats Shakur at least once. Haney beats Garcia at least once, and Haney beats Tank. Definitely Haney beats Tank. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I'm going with Shakur, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Shakur is the team around Shakur is very impressive.
Strong. Very strong. Yeah.
So he's sparred with Lomachenko.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Lomachenko, I'm not a fan of Lomachenko, but I respect Lomachenko for what he's done so far. The reason I could say I'm not really a fan of his is because I don't like the way who would go about and saying that how he's better than Floyd, he's better than Sugar Ray, and better than Pernod Whitaker.
Yeah.
For what
but that's not his fault. You know what I'm saying?
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. But it's just like, are you kidding me? But what Lomachenko has done so far in his short career is amazing.
It's amazing.
3-time division.
Keep in mind, even as an amateur, he only lost once. Yeah, and not only did he avenge that victory, but that victory was towards the end of his amateur career. You know what I'm saying?
He's a 3-division champion. And the guys that he's beaten, like he's beaten Gary Russell Jr., he's beaten Rigondeaux, Nicholas Walters.
Remember Nick Walters? What happened?
He's beating Linares, and a lot of people don't give Linares credit. Linares didn't lose for 5 years before he fought Lomachenko.
You
know what I mean? So. But back to Shakur, like he sparred with Lomachenko. He sparred with Tank. He spars with Terrence Crawford. He sparred with Jamel Harris. And then he has Andre Ward as his manager. And then he has his coaches. Plus, when you're sparring against a guy like Terrence Crawford, you can also pick Bomac's brain too. So that team around him is just strong, man. It's strong. So I'm going with Stevenson for those main reasons.
For Stevenson. Good for the whole to become the standout star.
Yeah.
Got you. Nah. Okay, I see that. Obviously for me, I said Haney. And but it will be interesting, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully it happens as we go on during the course of the 20s.
But something like that, though, something like that needs to happen in boxing so boxing can make a comeback. Like, boxing is there, but it's not.
It's not. Yeah. No.
Yeah, exactly. It's there, but it's not the way it should be.
Yeah. No. I know exactly what you mean. There's this fighter that I wanted to talk to you about, but I don't know his name. It's funny because I know his initials, but I don't know his name. Pretty Boy Savage, Desto 29. He has a movie coming out on Showtime, kind of a documentary, on Showtime, and it's Pretty Boy Savage. What is his name? I'll show you him. It's this fighter right here.
I've never heard of him.
He's close with Adrian Broner. He's close with Adrian Broner. Yeah, Adrian Broner and the whole About Billions affiliation. Check that. Type in Pretty Boy Savage. Desto.29.
Right. Yeah, I've never heard of him.
But yeah, and that reminds me, Adrian Broner is releasing his new album. Still adjusting to fame. Now, let me tell you something. Adrian Broner is not a bad rapper. He's not a bad rapper, but I just realized, that thing that I sent you when he was in the car, when he was adding a few people, he was calling out the Godfather. He's calling out Steven Espinoza about the $10 million and the new contract with Showtime. I like Adrian Broner, but sometimes I don't know whether he's being serious or not. You know what I mean?
I don't either, man.
One moment he'd be on that, the second moment he'd be training, and then the third moment he'd be outside MGM Grand with handcuffs.
Adrian Broner sometimes be doing the most, man.
Yeah,
But here's a crazy thing about Adrian Broner, man. I think Adrian Broner is the most talented boxer. He's been like his talent is great, but he doesn't have the discipline, man. If he put the discipline together with his talent, and Adrian Broner will really go back to being a problem.
Yeah, I feel like it's too late for that now. You know what I'm saying? I think he's just turned 30 a couple of years ago. Yeah, turned 30 in 1931 this year. And but you know what though? I want the best for Robert Easter Jr. Robert Easter Jr. is a good dude. You know what I'm saying? A real good dude, good heart. And ring wise, in terms of can he be what? He's a super lightweight now, and he just beat Adrian Granados. Can he be a champion at super lightweight? I don't think so. Can he be a champion at welterweight? I don't think so. But I just hope he's put in a position to be able to live comfortably. You know what I'm saying?
Robert Easter needs to use his length. He fights on the inside too much. And
inside too much.
On the outside.
Yeah. He likes it though. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't mind. For example, his fight with his fight with when he won the world's lightweight championship against Richard Comey. That was an inside all night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he almost got dropped in that fight.
Yeah.
On the inside. But if he just stayed on the outside a little bit more, he wins that fight convincingly.
Absolutely.
I thought he would have beat Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, I really wanted him to beat Mikey Garcia, but it was in that fight that made me realize, respect Mikey Garcia as a great fighter. It was that fight that made me think, you know what, he might be Errol Spence Jr. Remember that? No.
Yeah. There was no way Mikey was beating Errol Spence Jr. There's no way.
Don't do him like that. Don't do him like that.
No. Earl was Mikey moving up to 147.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was smart. I don't think that was a smart idea. I mean, he beat some of the guys at 147, but he's not beating the top guys at 147.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because he fought. It looks like he's staying at 147 because he fought Jesse Vargas at 147. Yeah, do you think that's only momentarily, or do you think he's gonna go back down eventually sooner or later?
I think he should go back down.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should go back. Because at 147, I don't think he could beat the top guys. I don't see him beating Pacquiao.
You don't think he can beat Manny Pacquiao?
I don't see him beating Terrence Crawford. I don't see him beating
Errol Spence Jr.
Errol Spence, Crawford, Pacquiao, Thurman. I don't see him beating none of them guys.
What about Garcia?
Danny Garcia. He has a chance to fight, but I don't think he'll beat Danny Garcia.
Got you. Nah, got you. Respect.
He's good, but I don't at that weight. I don't see him beating them guys, man.
Yeah, he is a good fighter. That I can respect, especially as a Mexican. You know what I'm saying? Mexican fighters have a lot of aggression and a very kind of like Leo Santa Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Aggressive fighters, but he is like Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Very
Mikey
calculating. You know what I'm saying?
Mikey. He's a technician in there. He breaks you down.
Exactly.
He has a great counterpunch, great counterpunching ability, and he has good time.
Yeah, the knockout versus Latisian is probably one of the greatest highlight reels in the past decade. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest highlight reels in the past decade, and I think I'll
put it in the top 3, man. Because I think when Canelo knocked out Amir Khan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Canelo hit him so hard. Canelo thought that he was gonna get arrested. He went over there. He was like,
"Oh, he was like,
oh shit!
Please get up! God, no, please
Please get up. Please get up.
Oh man, that was good. That was a good knockout. You know what I'm saying? But that was just a plain dead knockout. The way that Mikey Garcia knocked out this Artesian, it's like he turned and spun him.
He spun him around, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this fist comes flying towards his direction. It's like, fuck this. Let me go see if Costco is hiring or the Teamsters are. Let me go see if Walmart is hiring. He spun him. Like he says, like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, his fist comes flying in this direction, like out of nowhere. Nah, respect for that though. That was insane. That was a good setup, you know. And
it was nasty though.
That was nasty. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Ife Jugba. Of course, when we're speaking about the heavyweights, how could we not mention Ife Jugba coming up as well? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I remember his fight. He was on the undercard of the Tony Harrison Charlo fight.
Charlo fight, yeah.
Yeah, he got dropped in that fight.
Yeah, which is annoying. Which is really annoying for his persona. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, it's annoying, but once again, it was. I mean, he still won the fight, but
still won the fight. But it kind of breaks. Because remember, he had a situation where apparently this guy, the problem with that, they didn't want to pay this guy or something. So what happened when this guy came into the
the bell rang and he walked out?
That made him look incredibly dangerous. You know what I'm saying? That made him look like that was like kind of like the building of this guy that no one wants to fight, you know, extremely dangerous, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, a lot of the people didn't know about the business dealings that was going on behind the fight, but as soon as the bell rang, he walked out. You know what I'm saying? It kind of created this illusion of Ife Jugba as a boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? But when that happened in this last fight, he won, but it kind of broke that illusion. It was like, you know what? We can get to him.
You got to tighten up on his defense a little bit. He got caught with a good shot, but you know, his defense, it wasn't that tight. After that, we didn't get hit hard like that again.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of heavyweights, so are you gonna post this?
Yeah, I'm posting this.
Okay. So I know you don't involve yourself too much in the business side of things, but I just thought I'd let you know this. So Tyson Fury has an advisor who might be coming, who for the first time, you know, you heard of MTK?
No.
His management. Yeah,
no.
You haven't heard of it? Oh,
no.
Okay. You know what? I'll save it.
All right. Bet.
Otherwise, there might be some people breaking through my door later tonight. But yeah, I'll save it.
Yeah, you please save that, yo. But I know this week coming up, there's 3 fights. They got Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Thursday, Saturday. Which promoter?
Yeah, all on ESPN. Top Rank.
Top Rank. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Josh Greer is fighting Mr. Night with the pillow. I like it. He's fighting. I know my man Neferete's fighting. The dude that beat your boy Dogbo.
Dogbo! Oh.
Yeah, the dude that beat him, he's fighting. Neferete. Yeah, he's fighting.
Oh, and he never
He's fighting again. Yeah, I think he's fighting on Saturday. And I forgot who's headlining the other fight. So I mean, boxing is back. It's
moving up. It's
but with it being during the week and with them being so being real preventative of the virus going on, which I respect that, but it's kind of hard to watch the fight because it's like 20 minutes between each fights.
Right. Yeah.
They disrespected the ring, so it took me a while to watch these fights because I'm watching them live, and then next thing I know, I'm dozing off. And then you gotta go to work the next day. That's why for me it's kind of hard to watch it during the week. I'm glad it's back though, but it's kind of hard to watch it during the week. I gotta go to work the next day, so I can't be like.
And speaking of it being back, S680 Han, what he's doing, I think I told you about. He's trying to put some kind of situation on at his headquarters, his HQ, and apparently he spoke to Sky Sports, and they had a good meeting, a good talk about it, and they're going to try and set up some kind of apparatus in the back garden of his, because you know I told you his HQ isn't like your typical skyscraper. It's like a house.
Yeah.
Converted into so the house is like any house would. It has a back garden, and so a big back garden. So what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and put up a fighting setup there, production there, and hopefully we're going to start seeing his guys come back soon as well.
Yeah, that'll be good too. That'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think everybody should follow the way that ESPN is doing it. I mean, they started it, but boxing is boxing, no matter.
Obviously, yeah, they started keeping this.
Yeah,
it's big for them because they've been doing it with the UFC, so it's very important for them.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I did watch one of the UFC fights, and the guy, he won and then he retired after he won. Can't remember.
Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, I watched that fight.
Henry Cejudo, what a guy, man. Respect. I didn't like him at first because he beat one of my favorite fighters, Demetrius Johnson. But after those performances against TJ Dillashaw and the one against Dominic Cruz, I'm like, you know what, this guy is all right. I really like him.
Yeah, I'm starting to get into the UFC. I figured right now I like Amanda Nunes, so I'm gonna start watching some of her fights. Mm-hmm. And then I think that's gonna because if she's a main event, I gotta watch all the other fights before I get to the main event. So then I think that's the way I'm gonna do it, so I can start getting it a little bit.
Yeah.
I just don't understand like how they score the point system. I mean, with with boxing, it's easy. You can see, he's getting his ass beat.
Yeah.
But they on the ground and they grappling. Like I don't know how.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to there either. You know what I'm saying? Someone could be good. You know, especially because they have 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Not 3 minutes. Yeah. They have 5 minutes. So what if someone's grappling and wrestling them to the mat, takedowns, double leg takedowns, single leg takedowns, and then all of a sudden when they get back up for the rest of the 2.5 minutes, another guy's just kicking them, throwing kicks, punches, jabs. You know what I'm saying? It's better on stand up. So it is hard. But I think how in boxing though, I would say this. They aren't afraid to score a round as a draw. You know how in boxing, seldom do any rounds get scored as a draw.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say maybe 20% rounds, and then the other 80% they're just going to give it to the guy who nudged it, you know what I'm saying, that little bit. But in UFC, if a round was a draw, they'll score it as a draw. They'll literally, you know what I'm saying?
See.
So if it was a draw, they would definitely give it that. But in boxing, it's so rare that a judge will score.
Chill, man. I'm gonna have to cut this short, man. Little man upstairs wilding out. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to cut this short, man. But chill. I'm gonna holler at you, man. We're gonna probably do this again next week. All the other fights is done. And you watch them, man.
Absolutely. Say hi to H for me, man. H sent me this great video that I sent you as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, man. I'm gonna holler at you.
Yes.
Yes.